Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Buckle This podcast, the podcast that's just abnormal enough to survive. My name is Drew. Joining me, as always, will be Josh
Hello.
and Cole.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Alright, so first topic today, two trailers just released, I don't know, like Captain Marvel was what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? And Dark Phoenix was just a few days ago. What do you guys think of the trailers?
This is Josh. The Captain Marvel, I went in with an open mind, and I came away kind of, I was neither for it nor against it. I didn't get the goosebumps like I have in prior Marvel trailers. And that's not saying it's bad. I just don't know enough about the character really to feel a pull to the movie yet. And maybe that'll change once further trailers come out, or if I do some more research on the character. But I'll probably still check it out.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be a necessary addition, since that's right between both Infinity Wars. I think that'll be one that kind of needs to be watched. I would assume it has a lot to do with Infinity War, with the way they had the end credit scene with Infinity War.
Yeah. That doesn't come out till when?
May?
May is the scheduled date. They had been talking about bumping it up into April, kind of like they did the last one, but they haven't really confirmed that yet.
I think a teaser would be coming out soon then.
Yeah. The date for it right now, according to Google, is May 3rd. With Captain Marvel being March 8th.
Okay. March 8th.
My thoughts on it was, obviously with most Marvel movies, obviously it looked very, very good. It's going to take some getting used to with the young Sam Jackson and Phil Coulson. I mean, that'll take some getting used to, but I'm actually kind of excited about, especially the Phil Coulson thing I'm excited about. But
Coulson's fantastic.
Yes, he is. So I was pretty pumped up to see that. I wish I would have saw a little bit more, but I know they were kind of teasing his character at least in it. And I hope, the only negative thing I have to say about it, if there is a negative, would be I hope it's about Captain Marvel and not so much Nick Fury. I love Nick Fury, but yeah, I based on that preview, it seemed like the movie was more, Nick Fury featuring Captain Marvel. It just kind of got me a little worried, kind of like Spider-Man: Homecoming with Iron Man being in it. It just, now he wasn't in it that much when the movie came out for Spider-Man: Homecoming, so I don't know if that's how it's going to be with Captain Marvel or not. I don't know, but I hope it. Again, I like Nick Fury and everything, but I hope that it dedicates a lot of time to her and not necessarily him.
Well, Nick Fury's a cool enough character that he could carry his own movie. People would
Correct.
watch a Nick Fury movie, so if they're gonna make a Nick Fury movie, it should just be a Nick Fury movie.
Correct.
I think Captain Marvel's a character people don't know as much about. Like, it was kind of weird with Spider-Man, where they advertised it with Iron Man so much because Spider-Man's a character that can sell himself. Like, people watch the movie because it's Spider-Man. It was weird they had Iron Man in the trailer so much, especially when you watch the movie. Like you said, he's not in it that much, but
yeah,
Captain Marvel's a character I think people don't know as much. So I don't think she talked at all or very much in the trailer. So I think it was just it seemed like it was just sort of setting her up, like just showing what she does and what she can do.
Yeah.
And like leaving some of that,
Is this supposed to
veiled? Good.
Is this supposed to take place in the 90s?
Correct.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool trailer. I don't know much about Captain Marvel either. When I grew up, Captain Marvel... I guess not when I grew up. And the first comics I read, Captain Marvel, was in the Secret Wars, where it was, the Black Captain Marvel, and I think they turned her into a different character than, I don't remember what they named the new character, but... so
there's been numerous iterations of
the character, yeah. No, and I think they have Marvel in this movie, too, right? I don't remember who they... Jude... Was it
Correct.
Jude Law they cast? Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting some more cosmic stuff, just aside from Guardians. Like the Skrulls. I can't wait to see Skrulls. They make me so happy.
On Facebook, some of my people were saying, "Oh man, the trailer gave me goosebumps," and all this, and I'm like, man, you must be a huge Captain Marvel fan because as an outsider, I was like, where? It seems like a typical trailer. Like there was nothing that stood out to me.
I think it's sort of, and don't get me wrong, I love horror
Josh,
movies
it
and
looked
stuff.
like she was gonna punch an old lady. I mean,
People were freaking
that's-
out about that. God, it's like.
Must have passed over that part because I don't remember.
And she goes to punch an old lady who I'm sure is a Skrull, but people were writing articles like
Walking
New
out
York
and start
Times.
smiling and
Captain Marvel shouldn't be punching old ladies. This is not the hero we need. What are you talking about? Ugh.
I may have got more excited if she would have punched an old lady. I guess no such luck.
Josh, elder abuse.
Yeah, exactly. But
Then
that,
there was the Dark Phoenix trailer.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That I was pleasantly surprised with that one. They're like you and I maybe texted. I can't think. I don't think we talked since who knows when, but
Right.
I think we texted and you said that you were hoping it was more cosmic,
Yeah.
and I can see that. But I didn't go away disappointed from not being cosmic. So
It's good.
it looked I thought it looked pretty good. It was good to see people were not happy with Charles. We'll see how that plays out. I'd like to say I didn't catch who was the person being buried. So
Yeah, I think that was like sort of up for debate. There's only a few characters standing around like the gravestone, so there was only a few it couldn't be really.
yeah, I hope it's shocking. Hopefully it's Scott Summers because Cyclops just annoys them. But I don't have to go back and look at the preview to see if he was still there. But no, I think it's definitely got potential. It looks like this new class or whatever they call it, first class, and I don't know how you want to phrase this compared to the old X-Men's, but I tend to like these movies better. So hopefully this one holds that.
I'm certainly excited that it's not Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of seeing, like, even just all the off-camera stuff with Bryan Singer aside, I'm just tired of seeing Bryan Singer's X-Men. Like, let's have somebody else do something with it, you know?
something fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
The last thing that we all needed is X-Men 3, where that was all a hobbled together movie featuring Phoenix, and I just I really want it to be good. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's successful, and I wish, in regards to the X-Men movies, I just want them to get back down to what they should be. And again, I know it's Fox that has them right now and whatnot, but it's I clamor for the stuff that we all grew up with. So I mean, I get I'm old school or whatever, but yeah, the he needed to go, and I'm hoping that this brings a fresh light into it, and I hope it succeeds. I hope it does well.
Like you were saying, Josh, like I like how it seems like everybody's sort of at odds, like the X-Men, how they're sort of, arguing with each other. That's like when the X-Men are the best to me. It's like they've got all these characters, like with different points of view and walks of life, and it's cool to see them like sort of clash with each other in the movies.
Which is realistic.
Yeah, exactly. It's how it would be, and
it's not just the Wolverine being the guy that's not siding with the team, which is how it's been for all of them.
It was nice to see McCoy get upset there.
Yeah, because he's a character they really just don't do a lot with. He's just sort of the dude in the background with the glasses.
Yeah, I think this one, I hope they do it well. They can wrap up that kind of that whatever this is, that'll be the fourth film, I think. That film franchise, wrap it up, and then they could roll it over into Marvel.
Yeah,
and do the X-Men the way I like to see the X-Men done. 20th Century Fox, somehow they were able to get like 10 films out of it or something. I don't know how they did it. But I'm hoping Marvel can take over, and it sounds like that Kevin, what's his name, Feige.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded like he said that there's only going to be one X-Men universe. They're not going to have two universes. So I hope this one kind of ends, and then they can start fresh. I don't need a whole new reboot or origin, but I think it wouldn't be silly to have some of these characters come over, but there's nothing in these films that stand out saying, "Oh, we got to keep that in the history."
Just let Dark Phoenix kill them all. That's,
Exactly.
The last thing with the X-Men characters is you don't need to spend a movie explaining who these people are, because, like most characters, they have an origin from before they had powers, and the X-Men, like, their origin starts when they go to the school. That's the start of their arcs. So.
Oh yeah, because especially if you do an origin story, I mean, you got every single one of them has a different origin. I mean, it would be so hard to break it in that way. You would have to just start from. They're already a team,
Yeah.
But
that's basically what they did with the first one, where it was sort of Wolverine's origin, and he's
correct.
The next one.
Yeah, if they really, I'm not saying restart the whole thing, but if they had to restart, you definitely start with them as a team, and then maybe throughout the movie, you get 30-second flashback of each character. Like
kind of like Man of Steel, how they did it.
Yeah.
Just,
it was handled very well.
So we'll see what they do, but. That comes out on February. I think that comes out on Valentine's Day.
Sweet. It got delayed. I think it's now Fox's. Yeah,
now
Fox's
what am I supposed to do, Drew?
Now not me, but now some people have to get candy and flowers when they could have been in a movie.
I think that one's August or September now. I want to say
that's a big fallback.
Yeah, especially since it was supposed to come out in like. Was that early this year? Or the original date? Like it was supposed to come out a while ago. I feel originally.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's not a bad sign.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think it is their last one, and they want it to just be their last movie instead of having that and then having all these other ones. Like I'm looking forward to New Mutants, but it'd be weird to have that after Dark Phoenix and then have Marvel restart everything. Like that'd just be strange.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And speaking of other Fox X-Men movies, did you guys hear the news about the Gambit movie?
No.
It's supposedly a romantic comedy.
Oh God!
No, this is a joke, correct?
This is a real thing. Now, they did say it's a romantic comedy in the same way Logan's a Western, where it's still a comic book movie, but it's got Western themes. That's how they said the Gambit movie will be like a romantic comedy, but like still a comic book movie. That's how Kinberg has explained it. So yeah.
Well, I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
Now, I mean, if you think about it, Deadpool's sort of a romantic comedy. The first one, it's kind of a romantic comedy, like a raunchy R one, but it kind of is. Yeah. So if they do something like that with Gambit, I could see it working, especially with that character.
Now with Channing Tatum or whatever what the hell is his name? I know
Channing Tatum.
Fucking Channing Tatum. I can't even say his name right.
Channing Tatum's hilarious. I think that's my opinion on Channing Tatum.
I just can't get. He just does not have the Gambit look to me. But
I will agree with that. He doesn't look like Gambit to me, but I mean they can do incredible makeup stuff and whatnot. So I'm hopeful. Now it's been in development hell so long, so who knows what's gonna happen with it.
Yeah, he'll probably get fed up with it and move on.
Mm-hmm. Aren't they making a? They're making a multiple man movie too with James Franco. I forgot about this.
Making a what?
They're making a multiple man movie with James Franco. I think he's either doing the script and playing multiple man, or he's just playing multiple man and isn't involved with the script. But that's still a thing apparently too.
I can't take James Franco seriously.
Really?
Every time I think of James Franco, I just think of Pineapple Express or something.
I think of the stupid one he had with Natalie Portman, and it was kind of like it was almost like a Princess Bride, where they're back in that kind of setting.
Oh,
it was
Yes, Your Highness, or Your Highness, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I always think of. Probably because Natalie Portman, but
then his horrible portrayal of Harry Osborn. Oh, jeez.
Really, I liked him a lot as Harry. Now, I wouldn't like him as Harry in like this new universe. Like it worked for the Tobey Maguire Spidey, I thought personally, but yeah, I could see that wouldn't be.
I liked him in the first one. The second one, he was a lot of Anakin Skywalker episode 2. Angry, like just unfocused anger. Like you're just like, dude, are you trying too hard, or I don't really know. But he was hilarious in the interview, so
that movie was severely underrated. I loved that movie. They cracked me up just throughout. Something about it.
Speaking of,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, speaking of comic movies, or not movies, but comics in general, I'm really looking forward. I think I mentioned this in the first episode, or if I didn't, I sure intended to. Is that HBO series, The Watchmen?
Yeah.
I cannot wait till they release some kind of trailer or behind the scene anything, because I think if anybody can get that right, it has to be HBO.
Yeah,
I could see that,
and I think I'm really looking forward to that one. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I think they're still casting it, so it'll probably be a while before a lot. Like we might get some like leaked photos or something sometime soon, but it'll be a while for a trailer.
Probably get the same time Dark Phoenix comes out in 2020.
Yeah.
That's
dear.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think they have the chance to do that really well, because, like we said before, like Watchmen's a long thing, and so it worked for like the director's cut of the movie because they had time to make like a 3.5 hour epic, and that worked. So I think it'll work really cool as a HBO show. I know they're not doing the same story as the graphic novel, but I think that's a world you need time to set. Yeah,
you definitely have to develop that world. And there's plenty of backstory you can do and really add the depth to it. But that's why I'm looking forward to that one. And you mentioned earlier something about new Teen Titan preview.
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like they have these on their Twitter, and they're not getting like a lot of press or anything. But there's been, I know there's a 30-second preview with Beast Boy. There's a 30-second preview where Jason Todd meets Tim Drake in the show. It was Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson, not Tim Drake.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that. Was there more than just a clip, or was there?
It was like a 30-second thing. And none of them like full trailers. But there's one for the ones I saw 2 days ago. There's one for Starfire. There's one for Robin, and there's one for Beast Boy. And they all had they were kind of they were like Teen Titans. They were like a bunch of teenagers just sort of joking around,
Yeah.
Without feeling corny or awkward.
Without feeling like Teen Titan Go.
Oh god. Did you hear the rumors that they might be bringing that back? The real one.
The one before the Teen Titan Go.
The real one.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, there's apparently an end credit scene in Teen Titans Go movie that I'll probably never watch. They hinted that it may come back.
I would be on board for that. Just like I am for Young Justice 3 whenever that comes out. I saw the preview for that, but I don't know when it actually drops.
I'm not sure. Their streaming service, did that start this month or does it start next month?
I thought October. Well, I guess tomorrow's October.
Titans is the 12th.
Yeah, the service has already started. The Titans is later on.
Yeah, I don't know if it's enough to get me to buy this service, especially when there's other things I'd like to get down the road, such as the Disney one. But it's definitely tempting for the Young Justice 3. That would sell me more than anything they're going to have on there.
Holy crap, the 26 episode order they have for season 3, also for Young Justice.
Good.
That's a lot. I mean, I'm sure the 20-minute episodes or whatever, but still.
Yeah, seasons 3 or 2 was awesome.
I need to watch that still.
It's very much like Batman Adventures or whatever anime series, Superman animated series. Then you had Justice League, then it became Justice League Unlimited.
Batman Beyond.
It's very like those kind of cartoons. The art wasn't necessarily the same. Those,
but that quality of writing.
Yeah. When those characters came back to be on like Superman, then they looked the same.
Right.
But obviously, the new characters are going to have a different look. Um, that's how I looked at it, and that's how I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever they come with after that, I don't know. So,
I'm looking forward to Young Justice and Titans both. I mean, I grew up on the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans cartoon. Like I watched those over and over and over and over. So
yeah,
looking forward to everything they have there.
Yeah, I hope they figure it out. And the Teen Titans, if they could pull out that other one, it would be. I'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of this Go. Is the Go officially off the air now, or?
No, it's still going. I think if they do the other one, they'll do that and Teen Titans Go, which I'd be fine with, because then I could just ignore Teen Titans Go entirely.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be acceptable. And I'm not knocking Teen Titans Go. I'm sure if you're a little kid, Teen Titans Go is great. You know, that'd be like your style of thing. But to take the high quality cartoon they had away and to replace it with this was disappointing.
Yeah, I had some athletes that I trained. They like Teen Titans Go, and I and not so much. I try to explain to them what I didn't like about it, and they're like, "Oh, Josh."
But they like Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't quite say I was old, but
You're old, Josh. Just face it.
They didn't quite say that, but apparently
it was heavily implied.
Yeah, I don't understand their kind of humor and stuff now. So, but who knows? That's kids for you.
Kids
Damn, you get off the lawn. So that's, DC, if they would do well to pump out more animated stuff.
I agree.
And yeah, and dear Lord, please tell me you didn't get rid of Henry. That's all I'm gonna say there. God.
You give me like a panic attack every time you say those words.
That's it's not my fault.
The one show that we just talked about, HBO. Then we just went on to the DC streaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, Amazon Prime, they put out some pretty quality shows, and I've been watching that. I've just finished the first season of Jack Ryan, and no spoilers, but it was good.
Yeah, good.
I would like for it to have more episodes than what it had in the first season, but I hope they bring it back.
How many were there?
There's only 8, which surprised the crap out of me. Hopefully they change that. I was thinking the next thing that they were supposed to be making, besides the Lord of the Rings, which I think will be
It's gonna be sweet, hopefully.
which will be fabulous.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be making a Conan the Barbarian TV show.
Really? I never heard about this. I don't know how.
And I informed your dad, my cousin, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was all pumped. I sent him the link to the article on like a legit website, not just some forums where people are going on and on. It was
it wasn't a Reddit troll.
Yeah, exactly. But then a few days ago, maybe Thursday or something, comes across saying that they've decided to go cold on it or whatever. I forget the terminology they used, but they decided they're going to pass on it for now or for good.
That's strange.
I was so disappointed because it was supposed to be following the comic book line. The ones that Dark Horse did when they brought it back, really good trade paperbacks. But when I found out that they were supposed to be making it just like the Dark Horse comics, I was so excited because Amazon, just like HBO, they could get away with, or just like any of these streaming services, similar to Netflix and Daredevil and all that, or the Punisher. But I was disappointed to hear that they might not be doing it now. So I'm really hoping, and a lot of people in the comments were hoping that somebody else picks it up.
It's weird because timing-wise, I could see 2 years ago them not wanting to do a Conan series because it's not really a similar world, but executives would view it as a similar world to Game of Thrones, where it's sort of
sword and sorcery.
Yeah,
exactly. But now, Game of Thrones is one season from done, which is middle of next year. So by the time they got that coming out, that would be after that. I think timing wise, that would be good.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is maybe since they are doing the Lord of the Rings thing as well, that maybe they're, that's just too much money in one pot.
I feel like tonally they'd be very
They
different.
spent a fortune on Lord of the Rings. I mean,
they spent billions. So I don't know if that's the case, if that's the reason behind it, but now our family's like huge Lord of the Rings fans.
Oh yes.
But that being said, I was more drawn to it being Conan the Barbarian or Conan. I would have been more drawn to that because they can get away with a lot more serious stuff, more graphic, more, my kind of taste. As sick as that sounds,
and not such a, it's such a huge gamble too, because you're gonna, no matter what they do with Lord of the Rings, there's gonna be, just like Star Wars, there's gonna be people that get upset.
Yeah.
And I don't think Conan would have been as bad to, I don't think the fan base would have been as revolting as those would be if something was wrong,
They would have been upset if it was a little too soft.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, the thing with those two properties is, like, Lord of the Rings, they've done all the material that they really have. Like, so with the show, they're going to have to do something entirely different that hardcore Tolkien fans, no matter how good it is, they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you can do about it. But Conan, there's such a wealth of material out there, and we've already seen plenty of comic book properties that go a little bit off what the comic books were, which is fine. But
all the original books.
So they have a lot more freedom with that.
Yeah.
I feel that they're allowed to get away with.
I think you can get away with not having too bright of an actor either.
Yeah.
Just cast not anyone. He's got to have a certain look, but he's not going to be speaking all the time.
Yeah, they'll have to show a lot with their face and like their eyes, but
so you could definitely get a nobody and make him somebody.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to get at. But
that's one of Arnie's first roles, wasn't it? Like that was one of the ones that really propelled him.
Yeah, his very first role I think was Running Man or something. I don't know what it was, but I don't.
It was Hercules or something.
Yeah, maybe it was Hercules. Or
something weird.
Awful.
Yeah.
And then took over that franchise and only 2 movies, but it was really good. Then he made an appearance, which for whatever reason, growing up, I thought he was Conan in the Red Sonja movie, but it ended up not being Conan. It was King whatever in that fantasy world. And while I'm talking about Red Sonja, they just had a thing out now that Bryan Singer, who somehow still has a job, is possibly now.
Yeah, you said that, and I was looking it up, like while I was looking it up to make sure it wasn't like a nightmare I had.
Yeah, it's
a real thing.
Yeah, I had to go through 2 or 3 sources when I first saw it. It's real.
Yeah, a Red Sonja movie could be great.
Yeah,
Bryan Singer is not the person to do a Red Sonja movie.
No,
not at all. No. It could be a good movie, but they might as well just not with him. And then you might as well just bring She-Ra and have She-Ra and He-Man as opposed to Red Sonja. No one really knows what that is. Especially younger people don't know who she is. So where everybody knows who Masters of the Universe is, He-Man and She-Ra. So
yeah, you'll get some keyboard warriors yelling about Red Sonja, but you're right. Nobody knows who Red Sonja is really.
Yep. Yeah. If they do, then they're definitely older than I am. And I'm pretty
and you're
old.
pretty old.
I'm pretty old.
You're very significantly old.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but that's my thoughts on the Conan thing. I was really, really pumped, and then if they pull the carpet off under me, but the way it goes sometimes.
I'm glad I didn't get pumped for it, so that I'm not disappointed now.
Yeah,
I'm glad I just didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, it was. I'm hoping somebody else picks it up.
That would be nice.
Then I really I'm moving along. I'm pushing this train along.
We're
Wherever
following.
Wherever our friend the train's at here. I don't hear,
Hopefully,
I don't hear
it
in the background. But I'm taking over for him.
I'm feeling lonely, Josh.
Yeah. So I'm pushing this thing along, and what I'm really excited for started filming this week, and that's the new live-action Star Wars show for the Disney, whatever the hell they call, or whatever they're going to call their streaming service. But that, I can't even say his name. I say it wrong every time. Jon Favreau. I have to look up a pronunciation or something.
I think it's Favreau. I'm pretty sure it's Favreau.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Just go.
You're leading this
John.
train, Josh.
Him and I are first name basis. His name is John. And John and I are really looking forward to this Star Wars. I wish they would name it already and give you a little idea what it's behind it. But they recently posted some live action shots or pictures. And, the rumor's been, because it's going to be taking place 3 years after the fall of the Empire, that the rumor is going around that it's going to be about the Mandalorians. And there's a lot of fans that are happy about it because they think that Mandalorian stuff's been played to death. But unless you've read the books and all the comics, the average person's not going to know all the history there. And since they restarted the canon, the clean slate canon,
right?
Do anything you want at that time because the Empire's been defeated because the Emperor's gone, but there's still going to be parts out there.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean Mandalore, but those people have to fight for their freedoms and stuff too. So, and if they could pull that off, I'd be cool with that. I'd rather have seen an Old Republic TV show.
God, that would be awesome.
That would have been sweet because that game was sweet. All the games have been sweet. The books about it have been sweet. The comics about it have been sweet. There's a huge upcry for it from fans. And they kind of dropped the ball there, but they have plenty that they can do in the future since they're going to have their own streaming service.
Right.
So that's the one I'm looking forward to. Started filming. Hopefully it comes out at the end of next year. Probably still before going back to Dark Phoenix, but still before. But hopefully that comes out. They got the new cartoon starting up this month. I'll be honest.
Resistance?
Yeah, I'll be honest. For those that know me, I'm a huge nut hugger for Star Wars, and this cartoon has left me a little meh. Just kind of like I'm not too excited for it. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot because I gave Rebels a shot and I really ended up with Rebel. And Clone Wars, I gave that a shot and I really loved that. So hopefully this one changes, but find out here in a couple weeks, I guess. They just showed a nice extended preview for it, and it was a little bit better than the first trailer, so we'll see. We'll go there.
I never watched Rebels. I'm going to because you said it's good. But when Rebels came out, I saw the animation and I was like, meh. And I've got the same feeling about Resistance. I don't have much interest, but if you tell me it's good, I'll watch it someday. But the animation has me meh.
That's the big thing with me is the animation is kind of... Rebels, it had similar things to the Clone Wars. I wouldn't say it's... There's definitely, you can see that where it's been inspired by Clone Wars.
Right.
So I didn't mind it as much, and then once you got through the first few episodes, it really caught on to me, and I really ended up enjoying it. The season finale or series, incredible.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that one. Long-lasting characters that I'll never forget. They just are in the mythos now of Star Wars. You see people cosplaying them all the time.
Are those same writers involved with Resistance, or is it a whole new team, or do you know?
It sounded, if I was reading things, he helped create it. That's the guy that created Clone Wars and he created Clone Wars with George Lucas, and he was George Lucas' protege that first season. He took, and then he created Rebels after that. Sounds like
Okay.
he helped create this, but he was almost handing it off to members of his crew that he thought deserved a chance.
Okay.
And it sounds like, then he's kind of stepped away from that and then back to, they're bringing Clone Wars back. I almost forgot all
Oh
about
yeah, I
that.
forgot about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he kind of went back to finish those up or bring those back. So he created it sounded like, but hopefully he's still a little bit of hands-on where he can only give input story-wise or whatever. I think part of the problem for me is that it looked like it was all about training starfighter pilots, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
If they went like now when I say Rogue, I don't mean movie. I'm talking about like Rogue Squadron and stuff, books, Wrath Squadron, and that. It would be cool if they went that route with it. If it was a group of starfighters that were so good that they're the specialists, kind of like Poe Dameron is the specialist in these new movies.
Mm-hmm.
If they focus like that, I would be super stoked. But right now, first few trailers have kind of reminded me of Annie pod racing. Like, let's just all have fun flying around. What's going on? Yippee!
Now this pod racing.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the feeling I got. Now I'm gonna give it a fair shot and see if it changed my mind. So, I'll give it more of a shot than I gave a lot of other things in my life. But since it's Star Wars, I'll give it a shot. I was not surprised to see this. I'm not surprised to see that Kathleen Kennedy got her contract extended.
Oh yeah, I'm not either.
3 more years to like 2021 or something like that. I was okay with it. I don't think she's done anything horrible, but I'm going to incorporate some of the stuff that I didn't want to dedicate, or I guess I should say, not just I, but we didn't want to dedicate a whole podcast to. I'm not surprised they extended it, but I know that there's a big backlash from fans, certain sect of fans that are not happy with it. The same fans that started all these Fire Kathleen things around the internet and tried to get episode 8 refilmed, which was just asinine to me. But they were trying to
ruin my childhood.
Yeah, ruin my childhood.
They erased those movies.
Yeah, it's like the toxic fan syndrome. It's not just Star Wars. There's a lot of franchises that have it. But it seems like since Star Wars has been brought back and more vocal, that these people are being heard a little bit more and shaming people and all that stuff, which is just beyond me. I don't understand how people do that.
Yeah.
But I think she deserved the 3 more years. What I was getting at is she's going to deal with a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
For getting extended contract. But I don't think she's done anything not to deserve that extension.
Right. We wouldn't have the original Star Wars trilogy without Kathleen Kennedy. She is almost, if not just as pivotal to Star Wars as George Lucas is. So, I mean, come on. And she is not responsible for the prequels, so she's ahead of the ball on Lucas, in my opinion.
He poor guy.
Yeah, I love you, George, but
sucks to have to sell your franchise for $4 billion.
it's got to be rough.
But hopefully, she takes some of the. I'm not saying takes all the criticism, because you can't take it all, because then you might as well just pretend those movies just didn't happen in the last 5 years. But hopefully, she takes some of the criticisms and they get not. This is going back to what I just said 5, 6, 7 minutes ago. Is that they take some of the criticisms and that maybe they fulfill some of the fans' wishes. Like maybe they start the Old Republic, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe that's what those 2 creators, not creators of Game of Thrones, but the 2 head writers or whatever from the Game of Thrones that just signed on last year to do a trilogy.
Yeah, Benioff and Weiss.
Yeah, multiple films, not necessarily a trilogy. hopefully they can come in and tackle it, because I think that they'd be incredible at that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound like, based on what I've been reading lately, that if they hardly even mention that Ryan Johnson's trilogy. I'm assuming it's still happening.
But they haven't said it hasn't, and he still seems just as chipper on Twitter. So
yeah, I assume it's still happening, but it doesn't sound like his is going to be the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get all caught up on the Old Republic thing, but they really should do it.
Mm-hmm. It's such an excellent storyline and whatnot, and it'd be a shame if. I mean, I understand that they don't want to do something that's technically been done, but
they're still bringing things back from canon.
I get that. I guess what I'm saying is they seem to kind of want to do their own thing. They want to be tied down by something.
Do you think that they think people like the Old Republic so much that no matter what they did, people would think it wasn't as good?
That's a possibility, but PG here. So I'm not going to go on about that, but they're idiots if they don't. If they don't try to tackle it, even if they had to, I would even settle for them tackling it in an animated form.
Right.
It would be a lot. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. It would be a lot less toxic if they somehow screwed that up, as opposed to angering the fans over Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Again, I didn't have a problem with it. I grew up with the original trilogy. I didn't, go out and burn all my Star Wars memorabilia. Like, it's, they would have a lot less issues worrying about people freaking out like that, as opposed to these newer movies where it seems that you can't do anything right. It's like they're officially tied down to the original cast, and some fans have a problem with going one way or the other. Now, Knights of the Old Republic, the only ones that you're going to offend in that regard would be the players of the original game.
Right.
Now, there are a lot of people that played the original game. Game of the Year. It was fantastic, phenomenal. But I don't think a lot of your average Star Wars fans know anything about it.
Right.
No.
I just don't.
Agree.
Yeah, I don't think they would, and I think
average.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was such a great story, memorable characters, and it would be awesome if they would try to tackle it. But whether they do or not, I don't know. But
I would like to
kind of like Warner Brothers. Don't get rid of Henry.
Save Henry. Hashtag.
Just gonna keep throwing it out there.
What's the guy that runs Disney? Bob Iger?
Something like that.
Bob Iger, yeah.
He recently said that he almost took it on the chin, like maybe it was his fault with Star Wars. And
no, you weren't gonna please everyone.
You were gonna please everybody. I will say that I think he should have coupled December releases instead of having Solo that early, that May.
Correct. But Solo suffered from people upset about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
And they were crap like that. It just came out a home video for those that do things digitally or on a physical copy. They can go and buy it. It's worth watching.
It's a good movie.
That's not worth boycotting.
I wasn't even the biggest fan of Solo, but people boycotted it.
It's own unique. It was.
Unfortunately, the two brothers or two friends or whatever had to step down from directing, and that left Ron Howard scrambling, and that cost the production a lot of money. I would have liked to have seen what he could have done, much like I would like to have seen how Zack Snyder would have done with the Justice League.
Yeah.
I'd like to have seen what Ron Howard could have done with a full Solo movie instead of having to do reshoots.
Yeah.
He came in and saved it, in my opinion, and made it something out of nothing. Well, what I assumed is nothing. They wouldn't have fired the guys if there wasn't a reason to. But hopefully, he said that he should slow things down a little bit and I guess it depends on the definition of slow things down. But I think releasing a movie 4 months or 5 months after the other one
A
was
movie a year would be alright.
Yeah, that's acceptable. It's a
But if you
reasonable
could-
pace.
If you got to push this one back instead of
Yeah.
hey, have this in December because I don't know what they have come out in December. I think they would have done themselves justice.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But
And speaking of the Marvel streaming service, they also have the Loki and the Scarlet Witch show going to it.
Marvels?
Yeah, yep. They have they'll have
Oh.
like a limited series of Loki and Scarlet
Well,
Witch.
that's right because we were gaming the other day.
Mhm.
For your game we were on, I saw that. And
Yeah,
that's like,
they'll have like the original, like so they'll have the guy's name I suddenly can't remember. Loki.
Tom
Peter.
Hiddleston or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, so it'll be like full, like it seems like movie production. Like they'll have that kind of money behind it, but
That's
like
cool.
a long show. Yeah,
And who's the other one? Elizabeth Olsen or something.
yeah, the only good Olsen sister.
Yeah, I don't see what's so fascinating about those people, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure Marvel will do that right.
Yeah, and they aren't the only characters I think that they're gonna do it with, but those are the ones that they've announced so far.
Yeah,
And I do
that's
hope
where.
Good.
I seem to always interrupt you, but
that's all good.
that's where I think they can really do the X-Men stuff right. Like pick obscure characters
Mm-hmm.
on a streaming service like that and build them up. I think they can do that right.
Right.
I've never seen this Legion or Gifted or whatever, but I know that they're
Legion is
pretty good.
the first season was such a, it's such a weird premise for a show.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to figure out what's real and what's not in this guy's head. That's how the show starts, and it's just this whole thing that screws with your head, and that's what he's living with, trying to figure out what's real and what's not. But the Legion I love it.
See, I don't see why on the streaming service they couldn't put characters up because that's not like an everyday character. So
Right.
I would think that they could pick somebody from the X-Men universe and really build them up on their own series.
That's the good thing about shows like that is like a movie you do not have a lot of time. You have to have an audience buy into a character immediately, which is why you have an Iron Man and Captain America and stuff, because people know these characters usually.
Yeah.
That's why they can't do like Guardians until after they've got, a universe established. But with a show, you can put just anybody there, and as long as it's an interesting character, people have time to buy into it, and you can do more with it.
Kind of like I didn't particularly care. Daredevil, the movies with Ben Affleck, but Netflix completely changed my perspective on Daredevil.
Yeah,
Just
it was good stuff.
it's, which I think the third season's coming out next month also.
I think it's
Really
October
weird.
12th too.
So, but that's kind of a similar situation where if you have so much time to develop the character, and it makes it that much more interesting.
Yeah.
And I think they did great with the Daredevil.
Yeah.
And, and I think you talked before about, you were a little upset they didn't have Luke Cage down right and whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's, I guess you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
But
I tried to watch the second season of that the other day, and I promised myself I'd get through the whole first episode, and 20 minutes in, I was just furious. I just couldn't continue watching. I went and rewatched Daredevil Season 1 partly again to get myself ready for Daredevil Season 3. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. The show was just written, and maybe these are talented writers, but I just I just can't get that show. It makes me so mad.
yeah, I didn't. Whenever Punisher second season comes out, it should be fantastic too. But I don't think it's going to be out until late next year, maybe probably. But
Yeah, I'd say I think it's usually a couple years between each season of those shows. So would mean it's good.
Which it didn't have to be. I mean, part of that was because of the Defenders.
Right.
They had a show in between there where they all got together, but
Yeah.
Who knows whether they're gonna keep it at a yearly base or keep it at the 2-year point. But I assume at some point they'll do another Defenders too, but
Yeah, I think the benefit with those shows is like they don't have a network breathing down their necks to get a season out and 22
Yeah.
episodes out every year, so they just have time to just make a good show.
yep.
Excluding Luke Cage. Watching that and then going straight to Daredevil season 1, it was just a stark contrast. Like Daredevil season 1 is like a masterclass in like introducing characters and show like it's just so good.
Yep.
Going from Luke Cage to that is just an utter train wreck.
Oh wow.
I don't mean to be blunt, but
Sometimes you have to be.
yeah, sometimes there's just no other recourse.
No, as part of that, I mean, I personally Luke Cage ones yet.
You
But-
haven't seen it, you said?
No, not the Luke Cage ones.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But is part of that because his character was introduced with Jessica Jones season 1, or is it just?
He was good in that.
See, that's why I wasn't. I
Mhm.
I just didn't know if it was because they screwed something up there, but apparently they did it okay there, and then screwed it
Yeah,
up.
and that he was fine. And Mike Coulter, I think, is fine as Luke Cage. It just the
Yeah.
writing is really, really quite bad.
Yeah.
I wish it weren't so, but it just
Well, the Defenders, he seemed to have, it was, I guess I could see where the writing, even in Defenders, is a little off for,
I wasn't the biggest
Luke
fan of that.
Cage.
Yeah,
because it's just, they made him like a 100% Boy Scout, and it,
that show they sort of just had characters there to have differing opinions and not to make
Correct.
the characters cool. It seemed like, besides
Yep.
Daredevil. Daredevil was the only one who had
Daredevil,
anything
yeah.
to do.
yep, I agreed.
I really think we got a recap. I really think we got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
if I had a DVR, I'd have to record a lot of stuff.
That's what I hate. Like stuff like Legion and stuff I really want to watch. I need to find time to get all these shows watched.
Sucks when real life gets them.
Screw real life.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, dear Lord, all the superhero stuff out there now, it's just crazy. That's even on TV. You got the CW, which is like DC Central,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the last season for Gotham, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I went into that show being very very promising, and then I lost. They lost me.
Yeah. I've only
But-
watched the first half of season 1. I thought it was different but good, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen past that, so I could totally
Yeah,
see it going off
don't.
rails.
Yeah, don't. Do yourself a favor. And if you have any respect for the Batman, any of the villains of the Batman,
Yourself.
just don't.
I respect your
It's-
opinion. I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah, it jumped the shark. I'll just put it that way. But
Oh.
I mean, there's like you guys said, there's so much content out there to
Mhm.
keep track of all of it and try to stay on
CW,
top of some shows.
Yeah, they alone have Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, possibly now Batwoman, Black Lightning, the crossover they do every year. That alone is 7 shows. That's ridiculous. It's
Yep.
awesome and ridiculous.
100% agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome if you watch it.
Uh,
I can't keep up with that much. Especially now with Star Wars stuff.
Oh boy.
Priorities.
All right, I think that'll do us for this week.
Awesome.
You guys have a good week or a couple weeks, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. If you have any questions or feel like talking to any of us, you can email us at bucklethispodcast@gmail.com. Or you can tweet us. All tweeters are in the description. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.